story is unexplainable.
Okay.
And somewhat mystical, but I'll say I've actually never said it publicly before, so I'll tell you today. This Qigong meditation practitioner said, well, I'm offering some healing sessions, and for 10-minute healing sessions. And so I thought, gosh, I have this problem with my Achilles, why don't see if he can help me?
Yeah.
So I walked into the room, and he didn't touch me, and he didn't ask me any questions, and the first thing he said to me is, you don't sleep at night. And I said, you're right, I do have trouble sleeping at night. And then the second thing he said to me was, well, your spinal cord is completely blocked. And that's all he said. He didn't elaborate on at all. And then he gave a treatment. He put his hand over my ankle, and he produced some heat out of his hand, and my Achilles was completely normal after that, and I had no further pain.
From DC Radio, this is Wit and Reason. I'm Dr. Alexis Moreno, and we are here with Dr. Mark Libow, a retired cardiologist who, after years of practice in the medical field, has decided to take on studying and practicing Qigong meditation. From DC Radio, this is Dr. Alexis on Wit and Reason, and we're here with a very special guest. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Mark Libow. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Mark. And tell us a little bit about yourself, your profession. And
I'm a retired cardiologist. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and I went to medical school in Miami, and I did my internal medicine training in Washington, D.C., and I did my cardiology training at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia.
And what are you up to these days as a retired cardiologist?
Good question. I'm studying and practicing meditation.
Wow. And for how long have you been studying?
For 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Okay. That's a long time to practice and to study.
Oh, I have a lot more to learn, so I'm just at the beginning of my journey.
Would you say that it's more challenging to study to become a cardiologist or to practice meditation?
I think it's more challenging to practice meditation.
It seems like it, since it's ongoing and you're already retired from cardiology.
Right.
You had a whole career in cardiology, and the meditation's just still studying. Can you tell us a little bit about what type of meditation you're studying?
I study something called Qigong.
Okay.
And the philosophy that accompanies it is called Ren Xue. And, there are lots of different kinds of meditations.
Yeah.
But what makes this one different than all the others? And basically it's that Qigong is a more health-oriented meditation. Mm-hmm. And it's based on Chinese medical theory. Okay.
And how did you, as a cardiologist, come into practice with meditation or start seeking that out?
So I got into meditation for health reasons. And so I picked this meditation because of health issues. Okay. And so when I started this, looking for ways to work on my health, I basically asked myself two questions. Why is Western medicine so good at treating acute medical problems like heart attacks, strokes, ruptured aneurysms, and things like that? But why does it have limited success in treating chronic conditions that people suffer with for so many years? Mm-hmm. What's missing in Western medicine? And the second question I asked myself was, everyone wants health, happiness, sense of well-being. But why is it so difficult for people to achieve that? In January of 2002, I was practicing cardiology, and I was running about 7 miles a day and working out with weights, and I developed Achilles tendonitis. I had trouble walking and running. And and I went and had an MRI scan, and they said I needed surgery, and they put me in a boot for a month first. But when the boot came off, I really still had a lot of discomfort in my foot. And so I had a physical therapist come to my house to do some stretching exercises, and he said, next week I'm going to see a meditation master in Florida. He's from England, and he's coming for a couple of days, and he's going to be talking about this type of meditation called Qigong. And I didn't know anything about it. And he says, but you should come. So I went with him, and we went to the lecture, and I thought the lecture was really boring. I said, gosh, what a waste of time this was. And but at the end, this Qigong meditation practitioner said, well, I'm offering some healing sessions. And for 10-minute healing sessions. And so I thought, gosh, I have this problem with my Achilles. Why don't see if he can help me? So I walked into the room, and he didn't touch me, and he didn't ask me any questions, and the first thing he said to me is, you don't sleep at night. And I said, you're right, I do have trouble sleeping at night. And then the second thing he said to me was, well, your spinal cord is completely blocked. And that's all he said. He didn't elaborate it. So a month later, I forgot about the whole thing. I was, oh, gee, my ankle's great.
How do you forget about a healing moment like that?
I just, you're working 10, 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I went back to work, and I'm working really hard again, and back to exercising, and I started having tingling down my right arm. And so I know as a cardiologist, if you have tingling down your left arm, you think maybe you're having a heart attack. But if you're having tingling down your right arm, it's not from your heart, it's from your spine. So then I remembered what this man had said, and so my partner ordered an MRI scan of my spine, and I'm driving home from the hospital, and the radiologist calls me, and he says, you have severe spinal cord compression in your neck, you've had a stroke in your spinal cord, and you need immediate surgery.
Whoa. Wow.
So it's kind of, so how does this guy know this?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's unexplainable, coincidence or... Anyway, so I had the surgery done, and I had to learn how to walk again after the surgery. And a couple of years later, I still wasn't feeling good. And having an inquisitive mind, I decided... well, I'm going to try Chinese medicine. So there are three components to Chinese medicine. There's acupuncture that everybody knows. There's herbal therapy, which everybody knows about. You can take herbs for your health. But there's a third component that no one really talks about too much, and it's called Qigong. And so what is that Qigong, basically?
Yeah.
So it's a form of meditation based on Chinese medical therapy. And basically the difference between Western and Eastern medicine, so go back to that, what's missing is in Chinese medicine, they believe in something called qi, which is energy. And they believe that's a component of health. And Western medicine doesn't use that as part of their diagnostic or therapeutic tools. So I started studying this. First I went to China for 3 or 4 years in a row looking for teachers. And eventually, actually, I found this teacher that I study with now outside of New Zealand, outside of China in New Zealand, and I started studying with him.
And what's his name?
His name is Yuanzi.
Okay.
And he's a traditional Taoist, because this form of meditation was practiced by Taoist priests initially thousands of years ago. The technique, by the way, is 4,000 years old.
Wow.
But it's secular actually in nature. There's no religion involved in the meditation.
Right,
it's actually
that's what I was
strictly
wondering.
secular.
Okay.
And now it's practiced by thousands of people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's more health-oriented, as I said, than the other types of meditation. And since I had medical issues, I gravitated towards this.
So what was it like for you when you got the diagnosis from your Western doctor? How long ago was it after?
2002.
Yeah, after receiving that type of feedback.
Yeah, well, I
Sometime prior.
couldn't explain it at the time. So
Did you make that connection at the time? That
no, not in it. I said, gee, that's coincidental. It's just
Yeah.
coincidental. I couldn't really explain it, and But years later, I have a better understanding of what happened, and it's still unexplainable.
So what's your understanding now of what happened?
Basically, a lot of these high-level Qigong practitioners can sense energy in your body. So they can sense issues in different parts of the body, blockages or different medical conditions. They
And
have
it's all
a
medical stuff that they could sense.
Yeah, so they sense the energy basically, and they can make diagnoses that way. So that's
Wow.
so in Western medicine we have the mind and the body, and in Chinese medicine we have the mind, the body, and the energy.
The third component.
And that's right, third component.
So is it too complicated to explain how they assess energy?
To be honest with you, I don't know the answer.
Okay, you're still studying.
That's right.
Okay, so then what is it like for someone who's, let's say, interested in learning more about meditation in general, and then more specifically Qigong?
All right. So who should study meditation? Who should practice it?
Everyone?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
I try. I still
right.
struggle.
And what should you get out of it? Basically, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at it from a Western standpoint first, and then we can look at it from an Eastern standpoint.
Okay.
So there are lots of articles in the medical literature about the benefits of meditation in general. Let's not just talk about this specific kind, but all types of meditation. So it lowers your blood pressure. Some studies have shown that it reduces the incidence of stroke and heart attacks. It reduces inflammation in the body. These are Western medical studies, not
Right.
Randomized, double-blind studies.
The legit stuff.
That's right.
The Western considered legit stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Increases immunity.
Yeah.
Improves fasting blood sugar and metabolic syndrome. Slows brain aging.
Okay.
There are CAT scans and MRIs of people who meditate that they, for the same age, they have younger brains.
That's great.
It's good for stress reduction. That's what most people study it for. It helps with stopping smoking. It's good for anxiety and depression to be used along with psychology and therapy. It's been used to treat motor function in Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
So it has like a ton of really great benefits in Western medicine. So that's why I say everybody should practice this.
Right.
So what about Eastern medicine? So the answer is it's more abstract.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're dealing now with Eastern philosophy.
Right.
So we all want health, happiness, and sense of well-being, yet it's hard to achieve. So what's missing in the equation there? Why is it so difficult for people to be happy or to be healthy or feel good about themselves? So this is my understanding, and I give you my interpretation. So basically, there's more to it. It's just not that we want health, happiness, and a sense of well-being. We need development of our consciousness and cultivation of the qualities of the heart. So this is a very familiar term in Eastern literature, So just let's look at it in the sense that wouldn't the world be a better place if people were more compassionate? Wouldn't the world be a better place if you could trust people more, love yourself and love other people more deeply, and have gratitude, not just for yourself, but for everyone and everything around you? And if you could have those feelings unconditionally, without a reason to have them, just to naturally feel grateful and have trust and love in your heart all the time, wouldn't the world be a better place? And this form of meditation, as well as other forms of meditation, help promote that and cultivate that. And the other thing meditation does, and especially this method that my teacher uses, is we work on the consciousness. So to summarize it in one phrase, I could say that wouldn't it be nice if we could be the master of our own destiny all the time, regardless of what happens, to be calm and collected and natural all the time, no matter what adversity you faced in life.
That'd be great.
Yes. So that's what meditation in general, and specifically what we try and cultivate in this particular practice. And it helps the other three, because if you have an open heart and you trust more, you love more, then you're going to be happier. And we all know there's a mind-body connection. If you're happy, you're healthier.
That's right.
So they all work together.
That's amazing. So what could someone expect when looking into practicing or studying Qigong meditation? What exactly does that look like?
So, you have this image of people sitting in a lotus position, on the ground on a mat or a cushion. So we have that too. But we also, what's nice about these methods is we also have meditation standing, and we also have moving meditation. So for people at the beginning, because the main issue in doing meditation, any kind of meditation, is that basically your mind wanders and you have thoughts that come across.
That's my struggle.
Well, everybody has that.
Yeah.
So the Eastern practitioners call this a monkey mind, because monkeys are moving around all the time.
That's exactly what's going on in my mind.
Right. Yeah. So this is a nice this method that my teacher uses, that he's created, incorporates moving meditation and incorporates standing meditation and sitting meditation. So at the beginning, when you have difficulty just sitting for a long period of time, you have other methods. And you can do meditation in a chair too. You don't have to have this image of sitting cross-legged like that.
I get too antsy and wiggly. Yeah. And how long would one practice?
Well, you can start with 10 or 15 minutes a day.
That's doable.
And you asked me how long I practice a day. So what is my routine? I practice 2.5 hours every morning.
Oh, that's a long time. Do you wake up extra early to do that?
I wake up, being a doctor, I got used to waking up early, so I wake up around 6. I still wake up around 6.
Good for you. So by the time you're done with your meditation, the sun is rising.
Well, no, I actually have breakfast first. So.
Oh, wow.
So I started after breakfast. Actually, doing it before breakfast is great, but I just, everybody has their own idiosyncrasy, so I just start half hour after breakfast. And so since I'm retired, I just do it from 8:30 to 11 every day. Yeah,
so you can incorporate your meditation practice within your life needed. Before, after breakfast, 15 minutes to 2 hours,
that's
up to you.
Whatever you want to do, morning, evening, night. You can even do it at work, just if you can take 5 minutes an hour and just sit in a quiet place where you work for 5 minutes and close your eyes. We close our eyes for this and just focus on meditating. It's a great way to reduce the stress of everyday work.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about some community resources on how people could learn more, specifically how to practice Qigong meditation. But could you give us a little example of what you're supposed to do while sitting with your eyes closed?
So in psychology, they have a term called attention regulation.
Uh-huh.
So how do you get rid of your monkey mind? How do you get rid of all those thoughts that are crossing your mind every second?
Yeah.
So the answer is you focus on something. Mm-hmm. And if you look at most meditative methods, they usually used breathing.
Yeah.
So the Buddhists use breathing, yoga meditation uses breathing, and this form of Qigong meditation uses breathing as a tool. It's a tool to focus on something to try and erase, to reduce the thoughts in your head. Okay. So if you keep going back to your breathing, then over time, your thoughts gradually start to go away and you enter a meditative state. Mm. And so what is a meditative state?
Yeah.
So it's not sleeping,
uh-huh.
and it's not being awake.
Uh-huh.
It's an altered form of consciousness, if we want to use a medical term. That's different. And it's an altered form of consciousness. That's basically a relaxation form of consciousness.
Okay.
Characterized in Western medicine by specific brainwave patterns and so forth.
Okay. How long does it take one to get to that?
Well, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So there's no, some people can get into a meditative state within a minute or two. Other people take 30, 40 minutes or longer.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was doing it wrong.
But some people, it could take years to get in that state. So you have to know the proper methods. You have to learn from an expert. Mm-hmm. And you have to be persistent and diligent. That's the key to everything in life, is not to give up. Do it, set a schedule, be persistent, do it every day, no matter how long you do it. Develop a practice, and because it's an art form, it's cultivating an art form just like everything else in life.
Yeah. And I would like to learn more about the moving meditation, because I think that might be up my alley there.
So in our form of practice, there's two reasons why we do it. Uh-huh. The first reason is that moving your arms, so we move our arms in some forms of the practice, not all of them. We move our arms because it helps us focus. Okay. So if you can watch your arms, if you can feel feel your arms moving, then again, that's detracting from the thought processes that you're having. So it's actually another tool to help you focus, so that when you don't move your arms, you can sit there quietly or stand there quietly and meditate. The other reason is, in our particular practice, we use this term Qi, Qigong, Qi. So I can't really explain it by Western medicine. Okay. And I was told never try to explain something you don't completely understand. Yeah. So I'll just call it energy, but it's actually more than energy. Uh-huh. And so we collect it. Okay. And the basis of this meditation basically is what makes it different than other forms of meditation is we're collecting energy while we meditate also. And so part of this theory of Taoism, which is intimately related with Chinese medicine and Chinese culture, is that you're connected to the universe. In essence, all the things that are inside of you are also outside of you. That's how we work on ourselves in this form of health-oriented meditation. We visualize energy from the universe going inside whatever's bothering us and visualizing that part of our body being healthy. being bright and healthy. Wow. So we have the mind and the body, just like Western medicine, but now we're adding energy, another component, and we're using that as a triad for using it for health purposes.
Wow, that's so fascinating. Okay, so if people want to learn more, or practice more, study more, even get a taste of what this is, what do they do, or where do they go?
So the websites are Ren Xue, RenXue, international.org, and Ren Xue, RenXue, of the Americas.org. That's the American site for my teacher. My teacher has students in 32 countries right now. There's so many great teachers out there. Why should you study with him? The answer is, first, is the philosophy. The main philosophy of my teacher is, in Chinese, it's called Zidu Du Ren, which means help yourself or uplift yourself and then help others. So the goal here is not just to make yourself healthier and to be stress-free and to be happy, healthy, and have a good sense of well-being and an open heart, but after you help yourself is to help other people.
That's a similar philosophy and value we have here on Wit and Reason.
Right.
So that's awesome.
The second, the methods. Yeah. The methods are easy to learn, but you have to practice them to get any benefit. And third is the teacher.
Yeah.
I've never met a more sincere, dedicated meditation teacher in my life whose only goal seems to be wanting to help other people. So his sincerity really comes out and really strikes you and leaves an impression on you that you want to study with this man. The second thing is he's uniquely qualified. He grew up in a Taoist monastery. He studied with high-level teachers in China, some who only took 1 or 2 students their entire lifetime. He worked in a medicineless hospital in the 1990s in China, where they didn't use medicine to treat people, just Chinese medical techniques.
Wow.
And he used this form of meditation as part of the healing process. And he specifically worked in a cancer section, working on people who have cancer of all forms. And he spent his whole life practicing what I call life cultivation, or what he calls life cultivation. So life cultivation, many people teach meditation, but they just teach a form. The philosophy is what we call Ren Xue, and that's his philosophy. And the philosophy centers about cultivating your consciousness and opening your heart in addition to practicing these methods.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like you have a special relationship with him and that he's helped you grow and evolve and live life to the fullest.
Yes,
through this practice.
I'm extremely grateful to him for being my teacher.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting him and to attending these sessions to learn a little bit more about Qigong meditation. And we'll make sure to have the websites and information about this.
Where there's a registration site as well. So
okay, great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and your experiences with us. And to teach us so much more about meditation.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been an honor to be here.
Thank you. All right, and we have our radio producer, Shane, in the room with us. So Shane, what do you think about meditation?
I think it's a great tool and a great way to release some stress.
Absolutely. Have you tried meditation?
I have a couple of times. I know I need to do it more.
Same. I don't, man, like I was saying during our interview, my mind just wanders. And then it's like more effort for me to try to just accept and move on. What's it like for you?
My mind wanders. Most of the time it's with music. But I've been able to do it by focusing, like really actually focusing on breathing.
Yeah.
And just when other thoughts come up, pushing them out.
Or like recognizing them, like, oh, there's that thought again, and then like moving on.
Yeah.
Different depending on which meditation you're practicing. Yeah, I've tried. I don't know if I've gotten to the like deep state meditation process, but You have any cool experiences while meditating?
I don't think it was deep state, but I saw some colors.
Yeah?
Flitzing around.
What?
Yeah. Some blues and some
Gosh,
some greens.
I must be doing it wrong because I haven't seen colors. That's pretty cool. Well, you've inspired me to keep on trying some more.
Keep going.
Keep on going. All right. Well, everyone, if you're interested as well, visit witandreason.com to get links to the resources we shared on today's show. Definitely take a look because we also have some free health webinars. We have some fun videos and all kinds of upcoming events, including this consciousness and meditation workshop that's coming up here in Washington, D.C. So go to witandreason.com to learn more. Now, did you hear something on the show today that you relate to on a personal level? Maybe some trials and tribulations or successes associated with meditation? Share your story. Send us your recording on witandreason.com/speakup, and we may be able to post it on our Qigong meditation show page to help others navigate this fun journey of learning how to meditate. A special thank you to our awesome radio producer, Shane Lewis, sound engineer, Jessica Sturgis, and general manager, Max Myrick, and of course, the whole DC radio team. And definitely a very special thank you to Dr. Mark Libow for just sharing all of his wisdom with us. Thank all of you so much for listening. We are doing this for you, so please subscribe, review, leave your comments about our show wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on Wit and Reason, Facebook or Twitter at Wit and Reason. You can also find me at Dr. Alexis Moreno for some behind-the-scenes shots, and at DC Radio to learn about our next show. I'm Dr. Alexis Moreno. Let's keep the conversation going.